Why do we feel rejected, even when no one has actually rejected us? Sometimes nothing happened. No harsh words, no clear rejection, no obvious reason. And yet, the feeling is there. A sudden tightness in the chest, a drop in energy, a sense of distance. The mind reacts as if something was lost. This reaction doesn't begin with rejection. It begins with prediction. The brain is not designed to wait for events. It is designed to anticipate them. Before something happens, the brain asks one question: what is likely to happen next? And based on that prediction, it prepares the body. When connection matters, the brain becomes more sensitive. Not because something is wrong, but because something is important. Silence. Delayed responses. Subtle changes in tone. These are not neutral signals to the brain. They are incomplete information. And the brain dislikes uncertainty. When information is missing, the brain fills the gap. It's not with facts, but with patterns from the past. If the brain has learned that distance often leads to loss, it assumes loss is coming again. So the emotional response starts early. Not as a reaction to rejection, but as a defense against possible rejection. This is why the pain feels real even without proof. The nervous system does not wait for confirmation. It reacts to expectation. In that moment, the brain shifts into protection mode. Attention narrows. Emotional sensitivity increases. The body prepares for withdrawal or self-protection. This happens automatically. You are not choosing to feel rejected. Your brain is choosing safety. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense. For the brain, social rejection has always meant risk. Loss of belonging once meant loss of survival, so the brain learned a simple rule. It is safer to feel pain early than to be caught off guard later. This is why even small signals can trigger strong reactions. A short reply, a missed call, change in behavior. The brain interprets these not as isolated events, but as part of a possible story. And once the story begins, the body follows. What's important to understand is this: the emotional response does not come from reality. It comes from meaning. The brain doesn't react to what happens. It reacts to what it thinks what happened means, and meaning is shaped by expectation. If the brain expects rejection, it prepares emotionally before rejection occurs. This is why reassurance often doesn't work. Someone can say, "Everything is fine," but the body remains tense, because reassurance speaks to logic. While the reaction lives in prediction, the brain has already moved ahead. It has already simulated an outcome and adjusted the emotional state accordingly. By the time awareness arrives, response is already active. This is what many people misunderstand. They believe they are overreacting or being irrational. But the reaction is not a flaw. It is a system doing what it was built to do. The brain prioritizes protection over accuracy. It prefers a false alarm over missing a real threat. This is also why rejection sensitivity is stronger when emotional investment is higher. The more important the connection, the more the brain monitors for signs of loss. Not because you are weak, but because the connection matters. And here's where it becomes deeper. The brain doesn't distinguish between past and present as clearly as we think. If rejection happened before, the brain remembers the feeling, not the timeline. So when a similar situation appears, even slightly, the same emotional response is activated. Not because the past is repeating, but because the brain is trying to prevent it from repeating. This creates a loop. Expectation shapes perception. Perception shapes emotion. Emotion reinforces expectation. And all of this happens before conscious thought. This is why awareness often comes late. You feel rejected first. You look for reasons later. And sometimes, no clear reason exists. The silence wasn't rejection. The delay wasn't intentional. The distance wasn't real. But the response already happened. Because the brain responded to possibility, not reality. Understanding this doesn't instantly stop the feeling, but it changes how you relate to it. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" the question becomes, "What is my brain trying to protect me from?" Rejection without rejection is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that your brain is responding before the moment fully unfolds. The response comes first. The explanation comes later, and often. The pain you feel is not about what happened. It's about what your brain believes might happen next.